Absolute Radio.
I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. Welcome to the Not the Weekend podcast. I am Frank Skinner.
Hello.
Well, I wasn't introducing myself to you, you buffoon. That was Gareth.
You made it sound like you were Frank Skinner.
Yeah, in a way we all are.
Well, yeah.
And that was Emily. And we're sitting in the basement studio, which we've never really been down here before, but I kind of like it.
It's very Bond villain's lair.
I just worry that someone's going to come in and say the war's over, and we're all allowed to smoke because Hitler's killed himself. It's got that kind of feel to it. But and as for that, the first thing was, so what about the Alsatian? I'm afraid he took that with, why kill the dog? People will be saying, why kill the dog? That's how you know how popular you are. When people say, why the dog? Didn't have to kill the dog. The girlfriend, yeah, okay, because she could talk the dog. Although if that dog had not been killed by Hitler, and say if the Russians had got there and they'd got hold of Hitler's dog, they would have been beastly to it.
Well, then it would have had puppies, you know. It would have ended in tears.
I don't think it would have lived that long. I'd have had puppies. One of them would have, been sneaked out and would probably now be running some political party in Eastern Europe. And so perhaps he's for the best. He was right to kill the dog. Looking back, his last act was probably his best act ever. Kill the Alsatian.
We're going to get loads of complaints now. I think we should move on.
Oh wait, no, but isn't the BMP do really well in barking?
Well, it's all made a sort of sense. What you've got there, that's a sort of kit joke. All the ingredients there, and you just put it all together like a fabulous flat pack.
Very Airfix.
So you've been not a stranger to the recording studio of late, Gareth, am I right?
No, I've been in the studio this week recording some of my songs.
Laying down some tracks.
Some beats. Yeah.
I'm less sure about the beats.
I've been recording some of my songs because in my Edinburgh show this year, I'm going to do stand-up and then I'm going to do songs between the stand-up. And so I thought I'd record the songs.
Wouldn't it be better to do stand-up in between the songs?
Yes, stand-up between. Yeah, no, it's called stand-up between songs. So you're right, the stand-up is between the songs.
Well, okay. So how many songs did you record?
4, and then we're going to do another one. I think there's going to be 4 songs in the show, and
so
then I'm going to do 5 altogether. Yeah, that's well done.
Okay.
And it was good fun. It was quite weird because I'm like working with someone else. Some of the songs came out how I wouldn't have imagined how they would come out.
Were you working with Marky Smith?
You didn't imagine they'd come out.
So you know my song "Dave the Fridge." Have you heard that song? You know
Dave the Fridge. Personally, I think it's your best work, up to date.
Well, you haven't heard some of the others.
No,
but that came out.
You sound a bit odd on this, actually. I don't know if it's. You sound like you're got your head in a biscuit tin.
Yeah.
You haven't, have you?
Wait, let me check. I don't think so. We do sound odd in the basement.
Yeah, but okay.
It's the altitude.
It's the way things are in
We're dropping hints at the moment to the producer that there's a sound problem, but she's just looking at us. You know it. You know when you look at a dog and it just looks at you? It's that kind of thing. But we'll just carry on. We'll carry on without it.
Or like, you know when a cat falls off something and is a bit embarrassed?
Yes.
Do you know that look?
Oh, my God, yes.
You know when a mongoose is envious?
Yes.
Very envious.
That's about all the animal scenarios I do know. So don't push it any further.
Anyway, so Dave the Fridge.
I think I know when a horse is subdued. I know that.
Dave the Fridge came out a bit like Morrissey.
Did it?
Yeah, it's quite odd. There's one.
It's going to be very frustrating for our listeners that don't know the song Dave the Fridge. Yeah. Will they be commercially available?
Yeah, I think so. There's a way you can put stuff on iTunes. It's called Artists Without a Label, because I'm not signed yet. If there's any record labels listening.
Don't cheapen yourself.
Yeah, I mean, don't beg on air, for God's sake.
That's my job.
That reminded me of when I interviewed Tara Palmer-Tompkinson. She asked for free La Perla underwear. I mean, in a brazen...
That wasn't that time on your show, That Interview, as I believe it's called.
Yes.
I tried to find that, and that you can't get it on YouTube.
I think her people have taken it down.
Okay.
I don't mean her La Perla underwear. They may have taken that down, but they've kept that behind closed doors, and quite rightly. And is there any other news from the recording studio, or is...
No.
Okay, so we've started off with a Gareth Dote of some high quality. I'm putting it right up there with The Tale of Beowulf.
Another song turned out quite reggae, but
He's just going to keep
seem
coming back
Is
to
this a
it.
sequel
you don't
to
seem
Beowulf?
interested. That's the problem.
Pardon?
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh.
I think that's a fair summary. I've been in the recording studio myself of late.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, recording.
for?
Well, what we've done, we've done a re-recording of Three Lions, the football
I
song.
know it well.
Yeah, we did a re-recording of that.
Oh, how's it gone?
Well, it sounds a bit like the first one in parts,
Yeah.
and then absolutely nothing like it in others. There's a woman on it who's got the highest voice I think I've ever heard in my life. She could never advertise films. You know that bloke. She's really. I can't do an impression.
Is it Catherine Jenkins? Because I know you're a big fan of hers.
It's not. I couldn't possibly be in a recording studio with Catherine Jenkins without fainting with fear and fright. There's a terrible smell of sulphur about Catherine Jenkins, as if she might have recently slipped from the flames of hell.
Oh, God.
I heard that her last 5 boyfriends all committed suicide within 2 weeks from splitting up.
Frank, can we just say that didn't actually
No, that
happen?
didn't happen. I made that up. But
They took the dogs with them as well.
yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
The dogs begged for it.
Well, they were pursued.
Okay.
They were pursued by Catherine's hellhounds to the grave.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't really. I didn't realise. I was watching Catherine Jenkins presenting a daytime television programme about World War II. I started to wonder, when you watch something which is so odd on television, you think, is this just on my telly? Like in comic books when, like, Brainiac or Lex Luthor make the telly go fuzzy, or the Joker, and then
Yeah.
they appear and say, "Citizens of Gotham." It was a bit like that. She came on, and I thought she was going to address me directly, but she had that stare that she has, that could imagine that you could sort of lean forward and fall into the sort of syrupy pool that was her eyes,
Yeah.
and then wake up in some sort of terrible haunted house on fire.
Lying next to her and her black heart.
Yes. I'm not saying that she is Lucifer, but I'm saying that
She's
she...
got that sort of vibe about her.
Yeah, I'm saying that she hangs out with him, quite possibly.
They've dated. It didn't
Yeah.
work out. He
But
went to Hello Magazine.
She's got I mean, it's quite an attractive manifestation at the minute, but it isn't attractive. Do you know what I mean? It's beauty dressed as terror.
So what was her take on World War II? Was she...
She was all for it.
Yeah.
I
want
mean, that
to-
was it. The mask completely slipped, and she said she'd like to have seen more casualties if possible. I was horrified.
I'd like to know more about what happened in the studio, please, the recording studio, which I
Well-
don't believe she was in.
No, Catherine wasn't there. This was a woman who just had a very high voice, and she starts off going, "It's coming home, it's coming home," and then another bit that goes, "Ah, it's coming." No, I can't do it. You see, that's
Yeah.
why. But
And was Dave there as well?
Dave was there, and
Because I love Dave and adore him, as you know, but he's not. You've actually got not a bad voice.
thank you very much. I know what's coming next
Dave,
now.
no, I have to be honest, Dave. I can't say the same of. It's not his strong suit, singing. I don't think.
No, I think you're probably.
I think
I know what you mean.
I think it
I
gave,
love him on the record. I just don't,
Yeah. I think it gave the choruses more of a sense of elation when you got to them.
Yeah.
Because it's that, like, walking a tightrope of watching David Baddiel singing. And then when you got to the chorus, you're like, yeah, we've made it!
I think it was, in Bedlam, the mental hospital in London.
Oh, yeah,
in the
I've-
in the in the 18th century when you could
Dark
go on
days.
tours of Bedlam.
Yeah.
And go in. I imagine it's the sort
Hello,
of sound.
Bedlam!
Yeah, I think you as you walk past one of the locked cells, that's the kind of voice you'd hear coming out of it.
So many jokes. That bit.
So many jokes, so many. Are you all right in there? Yes. You all right? And then suddenly they fly at the bars.
I've had a
Just
number
over
one
their
record.
shoulder is Catherine Jenkins holding a red-hot branding iron.
So you're pleased with it? Well, I can't wait to hear
I never
it.
said I was pleased with it.
Oh.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I was trying to sum
Put
up.
the words right into my mouth. I know you took the words right out of my mouth. I suppose this was the prequel to that. You put the words right into my mouth. Guess it was when you were doing dentistry. Yeah. I I've always found that song very disturbing. You took the words out of my mouth. I guess it was when you was kissing me. The very notion
Of kissing meatloaf.
Yeah, but not just kiss. I've kissed many a meatloaf in my time. I've been so pleased that it's finally arrived on the table. But but when you kiss, the idea of kissing someone, that your tongue should not only be probing, but has a kind of supernatural element that could draw the language from you.
I bet if Catherine Jenkins kissed you, she'd put words into your mouth.
I think she'd
I've
put...
just been kissing Catherine.
Yeah.
I will rule the world one day. Sorry, well, I don't know where that came from.
That was excellent. That was it. Was you advertising a film? I'll tell you something on the subject of home entertainment. I read that 28,000 families in the UK have still got black and white television sets.
28,000?
Black and white television sets.
Are they all in the Birmingham area?
How dare you say that? Isn't there something extremely cool about it?
I think there is something cool. You know what I'd quite like is to have a black and white telly and all kind of plasmaed up in HD, and someone comes round and says, "Oh, your telly's black and white. Yeah, I prefer it this way."
Well, you can just turn the colour off, your big one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, silly. I would like the old... I'd like a 9-incher. Well, I think we all would. No, I'd like the old 9-inch black and white telly. The thing is, if
with
you're
the
watching...
little aerial, Frank, on the top. Oh, I love an aerial.
But everything would look like an art house movie.
Yeah.
You know, you'd watch Hole in the Wall and it'd be like watching a Fellini film. It gives everything that kind of classy.
An X Factor would be like some sort of Tony Hancock episode.
Yeah. I mean, it would be good in that respect, I think. And, of course, for dogs, apparently, you can only see in black and white.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Is that true?
Dogs can only see in black and white.
Even Hitler's dog. All of them.
Hitler's dog, more than any dog, only saw in black and white. It was a dog of extremes. No, you must have seen those paintings of dogs playing snooker.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine what a long game that was. Could only see black and white. I mean, they'd be... Where'd that go? Was that red? No, brown. Oh, I don't believe it.
And then they'd just lose control and just chase the balls.
Yeah.
Yes. Or chase their tails, best of all. That'd be
Maybe
brilliant.
mark out their territory. Oh, that wouldn't be nice.
No, we don't want them doing that. But
I'm quite up for that. I'm quite feeling a bit of black and white. I think it's good.
When I was a child, I thought like a child, but when I became a man, I put away foolish things. No, you could buy these screens in the from the newspaper. You could send away for, and they had like 3 colours. They had red, green, and blue in sort of lines down them, and you used to put them in front of your black and white telly. In front of your black and white telly, and it made it look a bit like a coloured telly in a very vague, odd kind of way.
Do you know something? I've just thought of something interesting, which I don't think you two know.
You've thought of something interesting. Why don't you tell us, and we'll be the judge of that.
My dad was the first man on colour television.
Not in our house, because the first thing we watched was the Flintstones. Was he in there?
Weren't you watching a late night
right,
experimental art show on BBC?
Was he the one that used to go, all right, Fred, is that him?
No.
I'd like to watch Nick Robinson for the BBC's political coverage in black and white. It'd be like watching Bilko.
He should be in black and white at all times.
Your dad was on the first ever colour
They were doing
broadcast.
experimental broadcasts in the 60s, and it was a late night art show he was doing, kind of like the Late Review sort of thing. And yeah, it was my dad. There you go. I think it's on... Well, they have got the clip on YouTube, I think, but it's in black and white.
Well, that suggests that the whole story's been concocted. Okay.
So did anyone have coloured TVs, though?
Very few, only our friends and a few of our friends, really.
Okay.
But I don't think there were many
When we got the colour telly, my old man was so excited, because we were quite late getting the colour telly.
And you got it last year, didn't you?
He turned the colour up absolutely full whack. So everybody, you get the news on, it seemed to be read by the singing detective. There's this red face, everyone had got bright red faces. And if you tried to change it, he'd say, no, get our money's worth out of it. Only when he went out could we watch it anywhere near. It was like gazing into a furnace. Very strange idea, I think. Also, on the statistical front, this is something else I read. I'm full of facts this week. I'm like a trivia machine.
Yeah.
Apparently, the average British adult doesn't relax, put their feet up. until 8:44 in the evening.
Really?
8:44. How on earth have they arrived at that accurate timing?
Well, I suppose that makes kind of sense, doesn't it? I mean, mine's more like 10, but then I'm working.
You don't put
normally.
your feet up until 10.
No, I've got things to do. I'm always running. I have
Depends
to try.
what you're putting them up for.
I have to try on outfits for the next day.
Oh.
There's all that going on. Organise the staff. I've got all sorts of bits and bobs to do. I rarely sit down, to be honest with you.
I like to. You know that thing when you've got a night in, and there's nothing better than a night in.
I love a night in.
Oh God, the great joy of a cancelled appointment, and someone says, "Actually, I can't make it. I've been in an automobile accident," and you think, "Oh, a night in, what a joy!" And you take your jeans off and that, and put your floppies on. You know, your elasticated waists. I mean, is anything better?
And your Uggs, you like an Ugg, don't you?
I don't like an Ugg.
Tony Blair likes an Ugg.
But I just found as you get a bit older that, you know, when you lounge about, it starts to hurt a bit. This is why old people sit up straight most of the time. Because if you lie with your feet up, after a bit, your legs your hips hurt and all that kind of stuff. You can't lounge anymore. That's why youths lounge and old people sit around as if they're waiting for the dentist.
But you know what I'm getting into? Apparently Judy Finnegan does this. She just literally conducts...
Is it drink?
No!
Okay.
She conducts her entire life from bed. So, and I've started to do that a bit. Like, I'll just get home, straight into bed, and that's it.
Oh,
everything.
no.
Oh, I love it. I
like
love bed. My sitting room is so immaculate because I never go in there. The bedroom is an absolute disgrace.
Well, I've heard that.
So you watch telly in bed?
I do everything in bed, honey. I do everything.
No, I don't like being...
Do my makeup in bed, watch telly in bed.
Do you eat in bed?
Yeah, very much so.
Do you cook in bed?
Do you do aerobics in bed?
No, I don't.
Do you compose? Do you decompose? Do you remonstrate? I say, do you remonstrate? No, I didn't think so. So you don't do anything in bed. I think your hoax has been completely blown. Well, no, I don't. You see, I hate watching telly in bed, mainly because the telly's in the living room, and it requires a system of mirrors, which I can't be bothered to adjust. But I like to go to bed. Okay, you know, one will do loving in bed, but really, mainly, it's reading and sleeping.
Really?
And sleeping in bed is the best. I actually like now waking up in the night, waking up and thinking, oh man, I'm still in bed. I've got 2 hours to go yet. Legitimate, just lying with your eyes shut. And it's legitimate. You know, I don't have anything to do. Nothing's pressing. I can just lie like this. Nothing's pressing except my bed sores. Oh man, it's become a joyous thing, bed.
Yeah.
Now,
I know what you're going to talk about.
You've been abused, haven't you?
I've been a bit abused this week.
Oh.
Well, tell me what you think, honestly. What I like about you two...
Well, I think you're a smart... Oh, sorry.
What I like about you two is I know you'll be honest with me. So, I ran into a friend of mine this week, my friend Julian, who's a very old university friend.
What do you drive?
Friend. What do I drive?
Yeah.
Why do you ask me?
I thought you were discussing some sort of prang.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't a fender bender. So I ran into Julian, and he was with his little boy, who's lovely. I said, "Hi, George, how are you?" And he looked at me very blankly.
Yeah.
And Julian was a bit embarrassed, and he went, "You remember Em, don't you?" And he went, "No." And I said, "Yeah, you do, George. This is Emily, you know, Em." He went, "No." "Come on, George, you remember?" "No." And then he paused, and he went, "And you know what? I've never even heard of you."
You sure he's not a doorman?
Now I know how Jane Middlemiss feels every day of her life. It was awful.
Oh, dear. And what can you... I mean, you can't say that to her. Did you
I felt
laugh?
really upset. And
You were upset?
No, I wanted to respond and say something bitchy, but I thought it wouldn't be a good look.
That wouldn't have...
I thought I'd come out of that exchange badly. So I went, sweet.
You should have said, you know what, George? You look like a sort of pickle leek.
He doesn't. He's actually very good looking.
Is he? Well, that makes it worse, doesn't he? He's not going to get any nicer, let's
You could
face
just
it.
say, you know what, George? You're never going to find love.
Well, I think this is getting rather harsh. Even I'm starting to feel bad about this now.
Yes,
but no, there is something peculiarly upsetting when a child insults you like that, I think.
Well, there's a feeling, isn't there, that children just speak the truth, and you think, and also there's always that feeling as well, as you heard the parents say something.
That's what
like
I was
that.
thinking.
Yeah, it's hardly likely the parents would have said. I saw Em the other day, and the wife would say, "I've never even." That's unlikely. But yeah, you do think that hatred has been encouraged at home. I went to a friend's house once, and he got a little sister. I suppose she was maybe about 10. And she suddenly said, I wasn't even speaking to her, I was talking to him, and she suddenly said, "You've got evil eyes." I mean, I had them in a bag. You know those goldfish bags you get from? They had about 4 eyes in there. I think there was 2 blues and a brown. I'd just plucked from people in the street. It was this karate move I was... No, she looked
I
at...
can't believe she said that.
I know, it was...
I can't believe she said that.
It was... And there was another one.
You've got very kind, nice eyes. They're not evil.
Maybe I was just looking at her in a Yule little. And then another, again, a younger sister, actually. I went round, and she... I don't know what... She was just looking at me, the way kids really stare at me. That's another thing that...
I hate it when they stare at you.
Oh, I miss staring. I think when you're an adult, you've got to be careful about staring. But I love really staring, really, perusing people.
Yeah.
That's the joy of Big Brother, really, isn't it?
Well, that's true.
Anyway, so she was looking at me, so I just stuck my tongue out, and she said, "Your tongue is like a spike." Right? And I thought, well, I don't want to press this any further. Yeah. And I went round the house, probably a month later, and she went, "Oh, it's the spike."
That'd become your moniker.
Exactly, the spike. I'll show you my tongue.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's quite pointy.
I like the fact that you're the spike. That's like the name that the police give a criminal.
Yeah.
Police were looking for a man with a spiky tongue.
Look, I'm known as the Spike.
The Spike
has been seen in the West Bromwich area. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it.
When I used to wear an earring.
Did you really?
What?
Yes. Did you not notice?
Why did you
What
stop?
the hell?
Well, I got it. It was an engagement thing. When we got
Engagement ring?
engaged. An engagement earring. I got it for when we got engaged with Laura.
The trouble is with an engagement earring is that the kneeling...
You don't need to finish that sentence.
Well, it's the kneeling
trouble with an
ritual.
engagement earring.
You know when you kneel to give them the... So when you kneel, you can't reach the ear. It's got problems written all over
Why
it.
didn't you get a ring?
Well, because...
Men don't have engagement rings.
No.
They don't have earrings unless they work in a fairground.
So you had the engagement earring.
Well, what this little child said is nothing compared to what Emily's just said, so the anecdote...
No, but I want to know, if, as you're still with Laura, why did you discard the engagement ring?
Well, one day, because the thing is, you wear something like that and then you just forget you're wearing it, but you forget that every time someone sees you, they notice the thing that's different about you, so once they've noticed all of those things, then they think about... the earring. So people think, oh, he's wearing an earring. And one day Laura said, no, you don't have to wear that if you don't want to.
How long did you wear it for?
7 years.
Can I just say that meant she didn't like it?
I get
Can I also say that these people who only notice the earring, you'd think 7 years in, the novelty would have worn off.
I meant when you meet new people.
Okay.
But a child...
Do you meet many new people?
Not if I can... if I can help it.
Okay.
I don't like meeting new people.
I don't much. I don't like strangers anymore. No. I don't want to... When I say strangers, I mean people I don't know really, really well.
Oh, I love a visit from a stranger. But let's not get into that now.
I've never had an earring, I must say. I've never been partial. Never had a tattoo, never had an earring.
That surprises me. I thought you might be one of those ears pierced at 3 in the buggy ones. No?
No.
I had an eyebrow ring at one point.
Did you really?
Yeah.
He's got a weird double life, Frank, that I don't wish to know about.
I would only have an eyebrow ring if I was going to go for... If I had one bad eye and I was going to opt for a suspended monocle. And I think that would be quite nice, it just hanging there. But I don't know what they're about either. Apparently, when people get pierced, it's very addictive. You get something pierced, and then you want something else pierced, and before you know where you are, you're that woman that stands on the South Bank in London, who advertises herself as the most pierced woman, and who basically looks like a box of paper clips. Have you seen her?
No.
She's absolutely... I mean, if there's ever a lightning storm down there, stay well away from that woman, because she could go... Yeah, she's the... You should go and have a look at her. She's amazing. Well, you can't see her. She's just a face full of coils. Face full of coils. The Mary Stopes story.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's that autobiography title worked out.
And then the child said, "Why are you wearing an earring like a girl would wear?"
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.